So to grow a YouTube channel, you have to truly understand who your audience is. So who is my audience? Well, I don't honestly know the answer to that question. I know who I would like to believe they are, but it might not be who they are. They're fans of the Paul brothers, Jake Paul and Logan Paul, because I am big fans of them and I support them. So I would like to believe people watch me who want to watch other people who support them. I really support the Paul brothers because I think Logan has done a lot for wrestling. I think Jake Paul has done a lot for boxing. I think the Paul brothers have done a lot. And they've done a lot for YouTube. They've done a whole lot for YouTube. So I think Logan and Jake Paul have been very beneficial to the industries they're involved in. Logan in WWE and Jake in boxing, and collectively both of them in YouTube on YouTube. So if you're fans of the Paul brothers, and I understand there's a lot of people who dislike Logan and Jake, I think that's because a lot of people are jealous of the success that those two have had. And I don't agree with Jake on everything. Jake is very anti-Democrat. I tend to lean to the left, but I still appreciate what Jake has done. I like his success, and I appreciate it, and I respect it. When it comes to wrestling, what I'm expecting as a fan, my viewers, I would expect them to be fans of wrestling outside of the WWE. You can be a fan of the WWE and watch my channel, but there's plenty of channels where people love the WWE. They're every Thursday and Friday. See, I don't even know what night WWE comes on. Friday nights for SmackDown and Monday nights for Raw. You can watch thousands of videos on those two shows alone. So I don't think there's a need for another YouTube channel about loving the WWE. I think there's plenty of that. Although it's kind of hard, I want to steer away from hating the WWE and more so talking about what I do love, which is TNA Wrestling and a lot of other indie wrestling. I want to talk more about the wrestling I love, not so much the wrestling I dislike. Because I dislike AEW and I dislike the WWE. But there's stuff I like about the WWE. I like anything involving Cody Rhodes. I like John Cena, anything involving John Cena. I like LA Knight when he was really on his stride and doing good. But there is things I like about WWE, more so since Triple H has taken over. I really disliked it when Vince McMahon was in control, but since Triple H has taken over, I like more of the WWE than I ever have before. And then there's the controversy. Can't controversy Jones. A lot of it is about how I feel about wrestlers who've died in the industry and how I feel WWE's number one responsibility, because they are the top dog in pro wrestling. Their responsibility should be to take the top dog responsibility for all the wrestlers that have died, and they don't. They really don't. And my heart goes out mostly to Owen Hart, who died. He fell to his death, and I would say to this day I believe it was murder, because he should manslaughter at the very least. Owen Hart was done wrong. He was scared of heights. And he was forced to do something he didn't want to do. It really breaks my heart every time I think about wrestlers dying, because every time a wrestler dies, my heart immediately goes to Owen Hart. No matter what wrestler dies, I always think about Owen Hart and how it's so much different than the one that currently died. Because most of the time, they died from pills. They died from doing horrible things to themselves. And that wasn't the case with Owen. Owen fell to his death. He was scared of heights. It should have never happened. And he was a phenomenal wrestler, and lost not only his life, but his wrestling career. I should have said that the other way around. Not only his wrestling career, but his life. But he was a phenomenal wrestler, and he should have been a world heavyweight champion in every company he competed in. And it's sad. And it's sad that it doesn't get the attention that it deserves. And it really breaks my heart. So, that's who I think my viewers should be. not necessarily who my viewer is. I think people who have hot takes opinions, because I have a lot of opinions that aren't mainstream. I think that's my viewer. People who have opinions that differ. People who think Ring of Honor is the best. I don't think Ring of Honor is the best. Um, but I remember there was a time when I thought Ring of Honor was great, when it was Ring of Honor versus CZW was one of the best eras in wrestling when it comes to independent wrestling. Ring of Honor versus CZW was amazing, and I truly loved that feud. And it was two different styles of wrestling clashing. The hardcore style of CZW versus the pure wrestling style of Ring of Honor. It was a great feud, and if you haven't checked it out, you should figure out a way to check out CZW versus Ring of Honor, because it was tremendous, and it's not talked about anymore. It's I've always said the greatest storyline in pro wrestling was the NWO, and how we believe the WWF was invading WCW. But the second greatest storyline is an independent wrestling storyline as CZW versus Ring of Honor. And you should check it out if you haven't seen it. Anyways, just some random thoughts. As always, I'm Kent Controversy Jones, and I'm signing out.